Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of How Do We Die in 1933. I will be your host this evening, your keeper, Grimjack, and I've got an extra person that's right here. Is a brand new person that, if you were around last night, you may or may not have been privy to a secret episode 0 starring our new doctor, potentially, Greta. But before we begin with all of that, we have a lot to get to this evening, folks. So the first thing we want to get to is, who are we? Who are we playing? And are we going to survive another day in 1933? Allison, tell us about it.
Hey everybody, it's Allison. I am playing Cait O'Callaghan, aviatrix extraordinaire, princess of the skies, America's flying sweetheart. And I might be willing, here at episode 5, to wonder whether or not Cait survives another day in 1933. She seems to be a bit of a bullet magnet these days, and that's not a healthy habit to have picked up, I'm afraid.
No, unfortunately it isn't. And we
just
will
for
get
tradition, Allison should have to read that again.
Right.
Say that all over.
We'll go around, and then we'll begin, and we will end with Allison. That's just it seems to have worked so far. So
it's the least I can do.
It worked. I tried.
Let's move over to our resident librarian.
Thank you.
Lauren.
Nobody knows anything about me.
Correct. So Lauren, tell us who you're playing and whether or not this character is ready for their last day in 1933.
Well, I'm playing Miss Sibella Ives, owner of Ives Esoteric and Antiquarian Books in New York City. And yes, she owns a bookstore. Just, little Southern belle who has never controlled zombies or drained Joseph Dietrich's life force straight out of him.
Never.
It's no big deal. Never.
Right.
And she may or may not be psychic. We don't know. We all know. I'm the epitome
no one's
of
pointing
subtlety.
fingers. Right. No one's, yeah.
Subtle is my middle name.
Well, sure.
I'm going to be just fine, Greg, or else.
Well, let's put a pin in else, and we'll get back to that at some point during this episode. Let's move over to our resident sniper and ambush alert device. Steven, how is Dwight, and is he ready for his last day in 1933?
Dwight's doing okay. He's a little skeptical right now if we're going to get out of this. Things are the pedal has definitely been the gas is on, and we'll see how it turns out for him and the rest of the crew. Hoping that we can successfully survive this and figure out a way to get out of here.
Well, that would be that's optimistic, and I always come to you when I need optimism, and I'm starting to feel more positive about this whole experience, and I'm gearing up now. I was a little down. I'm getting going now.
Good. That was my nickname in high school, so I mean
I do, Mr. Optimism. That's why we always go back to you, buddy. So anyway, we'll go to our resident man o' many faces, Strider, Elijah. 1933?
If Dwight's our ambush alert device, we need to change his batteries because he did not alert us nearly in time.
Things could be much worse. Yeah.
He just saved you.
Elijah Sawyer. And Elijah Sawyer's been in a steadfast sprint towards death for the last 20 years. And he has still yet to catch up to it. It's almost like death's avoiding him.
It's the only one he can't persuade.
Yeah.
Is somebody pounding on a door? Does somebody have a prisoner? Let's just say it right now and get it out in the open. All right. So Strider, that's good. And now we have a new person joining us. Lindy. Greta. For those that did not catch last night's episode 0, who is she and how does she feel about her potential living for one more day in 1933?
Well, Gretta VonKraus is a Nazi scientist and doctor, specializing in biogenetics, bioengineering, and she has been in negotiations for the past 6 months or so about defecting to the United States, but an unfortunate lab injury kept her from defecting over with Einstein and Mr. Mueller. So she was given a list of contacts, and one of them just happened to be in Bolivia, where she's at right now. What a crazy random happenstance.
It's like a plot device. Right.
Mind-blowing, really. It's sheer luck. And she has made contact with a Mr. Shapiro and is tentatively looking forward to working with this group of Americans. She's just got to figure out how to defect without getting, murdered by Nazis on the way out. Like you do. And also not getting murdered by the Americans who realize she's German. So she's walking a fine line here.
That's a real risk. Just saying.
It is. Oh, I got some freezing people. Is that my end or is that you?
That's your end.
Okay, we're back. Okay, OBS had a hiccup there. Cool.
Oh no.
Yeah, make sure we're still okay on Twitch. It looks like it. All right, well, good. So that's everybody. That's everybody with their optimism and their dreams of the future, of a future without, for Greta's circumstances, without the umbrella of Nazi Germany breathing down her back, the potential, the limitless potential. And what better RPG system awards the thoughts of the future and the thoughts of limitless potential than Cthulhu? I really can't think of any offhand, so let's get straight into this game of hope and preparation and striving to be one's best as we delve back into the jungles of Bolivia, 1933. Now, I want to do a brief recap for what we did, but we have a lot to get to, ladies and gentlemen, so I am going to be making this brief. The first thing I want to tell you all about is how you can interact with the show. Everything's listed right below. You can get advantages for the players, critical successes, critical failures if you're nefarious and kind of like me. But there are other things you can do. You can create boss monsters, and if you are so kind as to subscribe, you get 2 free critical successes a month for anybody that you are watching in the horseshoe of player characters. Now, with that being said, let's get to the actual recap of the story. After the events of the USS Akron, which, if you haven't seen, you should go back and see because it was something else, their handler, Jack, with the Olympian Project Athena group, sent them to Bolivia to recover what is only known as the Tyrannisch. This term was intercepted in a German communique that also relayed the message that one Ludolf von Alvensleben, who is Hitler's field officer or field operative for occult awareness and occult acquisitions. He would be arriving in Bolivia within a few days. Jack's hope was to get the Olympians on the ground in Bolivia, recover the Tyrannisch and anything else that could potentially be of aid to America and the Olympians before the arrival of the Nazi force. They proceeded to fly on their new transport ship, the Ugly Duckling. They landed in Bolivia where they met one Quentin Shapiro, who is a contact of Jack's, who was laid up with hey, thanks for following, welcome to the party, pal, Bushwaker, who was a contact with Jack's, and he was laid up with a broken leg. He was on his way to investigate the exact same site that was the center of this entire disturbance. And what was that disturbance, you ask? There's currently a conflict between the Bolivians and the Paraguayan forces. During this fight, an artillery shell hit an ancient ruin. Something was released, something that destroyed both of the armies. At that time, it was also alerted, and because of Germany's influence with Bolivia and the Bolivians, they were made aware of the fact that there may be an artifact, the Tyrannisch, that was made available, and thus begins our spiraling of events. So as soon as everybody arrived there, they were going up towards the aid camp under the guise of being aid workers to help with the conflicts and the casualties of this battle when they were attacked. Despite Dwight's best efforts to warn the crew, Several of their civilian, or all of their civilian travelers were killed, including Dr. Arturo Yersini, and Cait was hit. Now, this is a little bit of a meta-mechanical correction, as I am trying to make sure that we are following the exact rules of Pulp Cthulhu, and as I stated to my players, I am far from perfect. Cait was hit, but she was not awarded the chance to do a dodge, which is something that any character can elect to do if they are aware of the incoming attack. So we have retconned this. Cait did indeed succeed with her dodge with the help of an advantage provided from Dwight from his own stores.
Thank you.
And she succeeded and was able to reduce her damage from 12 down to 3. It was cut in half to 6, and then a 3 medicine check took it down to 3. So the aforementioned shot that went through Cait that shattered her collarbone has been reduced to a flesh wound. Now, in addition to this flesh wound, Cait also has a through and through in her side that's a couple days old. So while she is much better than what she would have been, she's beat up, but she has use of her arms, and if Cait has displayed anything, it is the ability to be very, very tough. A bullet magnet, but she's still around, and in Cthulhu, if you're a bullet magnet and still alive, that says something. So anyway, we are just outside of the village of Bombarumi, and as the crew elected to skirt the road and go through the jungle, they met up at the clearing and were able to kind of peruse and view the village below. And as they were watching, they saw emerging from one of the staff tents none other than their good old buddy from the USS Akron, SS Commander Joseph Dietrich. And as Dietrich stretches and yawns, kind of cracks his back a little bit, we will begin our adventure. Couple notes though. I'm going to flash up here for everybody. We did have a couple things pop up where we had a map of the forest and a Nazi map that popped up. You guys should have access to those in Roll20.
Oh, don't worry. We do.
Good. Well, that's for everybody else to take a look at, too. In addition to that, I wanted to double check a couple things. Cait's damage. So far, Cait has been clawed by a dragon, the through and through, and the shot, correct? Okay.
That's it. Just those little.
Just dragon attack and 2 bullet wounds, correct?
Yeah, basically just that.
I've got to step up my game, right? Did anybody else get attacked by a dragon? Hit by a dragon? Did Elijah get hit? He didn't get hit by a dragon, did he?
No, Elijah's fine. He's killed a dragon.
He killed a dragon.
The boys are fine,
That
Greg.
dragon got hit by Elijah.
Okay, well, I'm making a mental list of that. I have a lot of things to cross off here. So
The boys are fine.
yeah, kill Elijah with dragon. Oh, I didn't mute myself. I'm so sorry. That was just for Alexa to make my notes over there. Okay, so anyway, we are overlooking the village of Bombarumi in beautiful, humid Bolivia when you see Joseph Dietrich come out of his tent, stretch, and he walks into a neighboring tent that seems to be a medical tent because of the red cross that's on the outside of it. What would you all like to do?
Eagle Eyes, soldier boy. That, your eyes are better than mine. Certainly that wasn't a Nazi friend, was it?
It was. The camp's been taken by him.
Ooh, I have some choice words for that gentleman.
Maybe we don't say anything. I mean, that's just an option. Hiding might be a better one right now.
Oh, for now, we're gonna bump into him eventually. I think you know that as well as I do.
I mean, I do. And last time it didn't go too poorly with him. How did he look, Greg? I mean, I know we're far away, but did he look sicklier than he did when we originally saw him, or does he look fine?
Well, let's do a little description of Joseph Dietrich. Joseph Dietrich is a tall, strapping, blonde-haired example of Aryan perfection.
Gross.
Piercing blue, almost white, sky blue, almost colorless with their blueness. He is just the absolute epitome of genetic perfection, and he looks fine. I mean, he may even look a little bit better than the last time you saw him. Healthier. He got some sun.
Can I make a spot hidden?
Well, you can always, anytime that anybody asks to do a check, you certainly can.
Greg's opinions of genetic perfection do not represent the views and opinions of
Thank
other
you.
cast members.
Yeah. He was in character.
Yeah, I
Look
played
at that
Joseph last night.
extreme success.
Extreme
Correct.
success.
Get
Okay, so
wrecked.
what would you like to? What were you absolutely looking at here, Dwight? That you wanted to get a little bit.
I want to make sure that they don't see us or anybody else coming from anywhere else at us.
Okay.
Any kind of movement.
Okay.
Because
So
I think I'm going to suggest to the party. I'm going to suggest to us we need to pull back and formulate some sort of plan of what we're going to do here. You know,
Okay.
Cait needs to rest. It's a pretty precarious situation we're in.
well, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. No.
No, I was just going to say real quick that with that extreme roll, I need to have a direction that you're looking, because even though it's an extreme, I will give you information dependent upon which direction you look. So if you're looking at the camp, I can give you information.
He would definitely be looking at the camp at the time, yes, because he wants to make sure that we're not spotted.
Okay.
You know, I'm looking at the map you got there. We're at the right side of the south?
Yes. Yeah. You're on the southwest corner of that bubble around the aid camp.
Okay.
And in fact, do I actually have an asset that could help you out with that? Maybe. Boom. And you guys should have access to the aid camp map inside Roll20 if you want to take a look at it. You will be just down from the mess tent, southwest of the mess tent in that picture. I'll get rid of these other things so it doesn't look so crazy. Where's map? Yeah, no, Dwight, here's what you see, and we'll get right back to Cait, and I'm sorry I interrupted you, Allison. Dwight, because of that extreme roll, I will give you the following bits of information. As you're looking down, you see several people that you would only assume to be like residents. They by their dress, they seem to be extremely poor, indigenous type of people. They're not like tribal in their dress, but they seem to be very poor farmers, perhaps gatherers, people that live off the root systems of the jungle to kind of sell down at the river station. What you also see is, thanks, Lindy. What you also see is that there are Bolivian troops, and the reason why you recognize them is because you were the one that identified them at the ambush by their outfits and their dress. There are a row of 10, and you think there might be as many as 12, but they go behind one of the tents, and they are standing in rigid formation. And because of that roll, I will let you know that they are all blinking in unison, once a minute. Boom, boom. You also see, as you're looking around, no other examples or other than Dietrich, you don't see anybody else that appears to be non-Bolivian or non-indigenous. There's no other, white or Aryan or racially specific to this area. So he seems to be the anomaly here.
I don't see the sniper.
You do not.
How many soldiers, just like rough estimate, can he spy?
10, potentially 12. He's pretty sure because they kind of curl around one of the tents and obstruct from his view, but he's pretty sure that there's 12 in total, that at least 12 outside. But there are several tents, and
what kind of guns do they have?
They're all carrying rifles and shotguns, and a few of them have sidearms that appear to be tucked in holsters against their legs.
We can handle that. We can take them.
Y'all know I'm normally one for rushing in where angels fear to tread, but I think I'm in agreement with Mr. Burke. I think it might be wise to pull back and consider how best to move forward here.
I agree. Yeah, we need to make a plan of what we want to do because that camp is definitely out.
And you said you had something you wanted to show us once we were safe, right, Mr. Burke?
Yes, I have a map that I found up at the sniper's, where his lookout was, where he shot us. He must have left some map behind. I don't know if it was on purpose or, it was just by accident.
I'm not sure if that person was strictly human either, if I'm being quite honest. Did y'all see I flew back like 7 feet into a tree? Did anyone see that? Because I feel it still.
The damn government's inventing all kind of crazy technologies to wage war on each other.
Well, Mr. Sawyer, I'm not sure it was technology, but I felt it. I was sitting right next to her, and I felt it blow by me. I don't know what that was, but
Well, not technology in the way we know it, but dragons, flaming men, flying ladies. These government folks
This is
are
some
up
of
to
the
something.
craziest shit I've ever seen in my life.
Mr.
The
I
things that
second
go
that.
on.
I second that notion, Mr. Burke.
Language. All right, we should pull back. We should pull
Yeah,
back.
I say we're
He's a
gonna pull back.
soldier. He's a soldier.
I'm gonna say we're probably gonna pull back, stay off of the trail, stay in the clearing, and then if Sibella's gonna look over that map, Elijah's gonna be trying to make everyone up. If we get a minute, putting on the clothes of the fallen soldiers, putting makeup on the people, that kind of stuff. Because, like I said, he's hoofing it, carrying these huge suitcases around. So if he's bringing his makeup and props with him, he might as well use them.
We need to find a place where I can get a vantage point. While you guys study the map, I can kind of keep an eye on the area itself, maybe a little away from the group. So in case they do come up, I can put two in them.
Genius idea. We need you to spot us a safe place, and we need us a signal so you can tell us if we're in trouble.
That'd be my gun.
as the conversation continues, Cait pulls back a bit. She's leaning against a tree, breathing kind of heavily. She seems perpetually pale at this point, and maybe kind of in sliding into shock or in shock. Clearly not able to contribute in the way that you'd normally expect of her.
Yeah, standing here is no good for us. We need to go find a safe spot, and then we can discuss things.
Well, Eagle Eyes, tell us where to go.
Cait, give me a spot hidden.
Ooh.
Okay, Cait, as you go back and are leaning against a tree, and as the others are kind of pulled away from the lip of the overlooking Bombarumi, and they're kind of like, crouched down and talking to one another, you notice out of the corner of your eye, and you see a very tall gentleman wearing a Nazi outfit literally materialize out of thin air. He is very tall, very bold looking, with a streaked, slicked back black hair. As he comes up and he pulls out what appears to be a rudimentary clip-fed grease gun, like an MP40, as he lowers it towards your clustered friends. He has not noticed you because he is hell-bent on hitting the three others that are kind of crouched conspiratorially. And as he is moving in, you see the following. Greta?
Yes, I would like to shtick him.
Well, okay, so he is stuck, but with what?
Okay, so
What does paint the picture for Cait. What does Cait see?
Greta's going to she doesn't materialize, but it looks like she kind of sneaks up on him, like she knew where he was gonna appear, and pulls out from a large side pocket in her lab coats what looks like an odd type of gun, maybe, but instead of a gun, it has a syringe tip. It looks almost like a piece of medical equipment, and she stands behind him. She calmly pulls out a vial from her pocket, sticks it in, loads it, and then just sticks him right into the kidney.
Okay, so as soon as this long needle pierces through the back, you see the tensing of muscles and the inhalation of breath, but immediately, even though you can see his chest going to yell, to scream, to emit some type of noise, whether it be in pain, shock, or alert, you see his muscles begin to liquefy. Even the chest begins to sink and cave in as you see his face start to melt and sag, and the skin, while the skin is not being liquefied, it is sloughing to the point of there's just nothing holding it up but bone at a certain point. And for those of you that are looking intently at this, which actually would probably only be Cait at this point, You would actually see the lower part of his legs get bigger as whatever was inside him that used to be solid is pooling and rushing to the lower extremities of his body. All of you at this point will have been made aware by the sound of the MP40 being cocked. You have all turned around and looked at this, and everybody but Dwight, roll me a sanity check, because this is some freaky shit. Let me know if you... Oh.
Fail.
Oh, I got 2 people?
Oh no!
Good God, I cannot win a sanity check in this
You shall
game.
not ever get me.
2 as you were watching this crazy display of augmented
ally.
biology. Yeah. Oh, but he isn't. So as you see this, what used to be the handsome, bold, strapping figures of a youth-infused soldier turn into a struck match and melted candle in front of your eyes, he just slumps and puddles in the ground as you are now witness to, well, Lindy, tell us, what does Greta look like?
Greta, she is about 5'5", 5'6". She's not like terribly small, but she's a very fit build. She also looks quite airy, and she's got light blonde hair, kind of, pulled back, slicked into a bun. She has striking blue eyes, strong cheekbones, just, carries herself with an air of superiority almost. She's wearing a lab coat, a yellow shirt, black skirt, very, doctor type garb, and gloves on. And she also is carrying with her what appears to be a rather large, like a medicine bag / kind of maybe suitcase. It looks very full of materials and supplies.
She also has a myriad of guns pointed at her right now.
Yeah, Dwight would definitely have his gun on her immediately.
Sibella's just eyes are kind of sparkling because she thought that was just about the neatest thing she ever did see.
And she'll kind of just eject the empty syringe, the vial, stick it in the pocket, puts a syringe gun back in her pocket and say, "Oh good, I got here in time. Ich heiße Gretta VonKraus und was geht ab? Lass uns gehen." Ja, oh, du bist ein Amerikaner. Apologies, Entschuldigung. I'm sure my appearance seems a bit strange. My name is Gretta VonKraus. We should get going. It is not safe here, as evidenced. I'm just glad I got here in time. We have a mutual friend, I believe, Herr Jack.
Yeah, hi.
Hello.
Jack's no friend, and when you
Well,
see all that moving you're doing, you should stop that moving. You should probably stand still.
Right
She's
now.
not doing a lot of moving. She's just, very, very, controlled and, small gestures.
all right.
Did the Nazi make a
She
sound?
doesn't, it's as if she doesn't want to waste any energy. All of her movements are very efficient.
Alrighty. Now, everyone, no one has to freak out. All right. There's very easy way to handle this. We just need to shake hands, and then everything will be fine. That's just, American courtesy. How
No
about
need
it?
to freak out. That guy's been liquefied. She's some kind of spider.
Yeah, I mean, it's
No, I am completely
Mr.
unarmed.
Sawyer.
I only have my medical supplies with me.
Mr. Sawyer, stand down and let her shake the woman's hand.
What? I start taking off my gloves, and I look at her gloves, and I go, "Oh, those are nice. Where'd you get those? I love them just like that."
This is
Thank you. I got some from back in Germany.
this is really
Oh.
happening.
She does not remove her glove.
I kind of need to touch you. I don't want to be forward.
That sounds
Sibella-
very unsanitary. I am
Sibella,
a
you're
doctor.
being too forward. What was your name, Miss German?
Greta VonKraus.
Miss VonKraus.
Okay, Miss Greta, do you intend us any harm?
I do not. In fact, it looks like several of you might be injured.
Do I think she's telling the truth?
You may roll a psychology check, and I will tell you for sure.
77 is a success, because I am good at that.
she does not seem like she means you any harm.
Yeah.
She's telling the truth, and I don't even need to touch her.
Well, no, certainly you do not, sir.
I suggest we take the Jerry's advice and skedaddle out of here. Obviously,
Jack puts
Mr.
me-
Goosack here knows where we are.
Cait, yeah, so she says, Mr. Sawyer, the polite thing to do would be to shake hands. Now, Miss, what was your name again?
Gretta VonKraus.
Miss VonKraus. Why don't you just take the glove off and take her by the hand? And Cait's staring down the barrel of the 45 this whole time.
Okay. She's gonna be like, are all Americans this unsanitary?
No, we're just very friendly here.
Okay. She's gonna be like, yeah, sure. And she'll kind of take off. First, she'll take off her left glove.
Uh-huh.
And she'll be like, I do not really like to. I don't know if it's contagious. And you'll see she pulls off her hand, and you see a deformed, like the veins are discolored. There's all sorts of like weird chemical burns and discoloration, pockmarks on the skin.
Wow.
She's going to be like, so this is highly unsanitary. And she'll kind of like very reluctantly, like almost like, ew, disgusting.
And
Ugh.
Sabella's just smiling and looking in your pretty blue eyes.
So you guys shake hands?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, all right, ladies and gentlemen.
Greta is just like, this is so unsanitary. You Americans are very strange. I hope you all don't like this.
We were talking about this in Zoom before we went in, so we are going to have our first PvP contested power roll.
Oh!
It's a nice one.
So,
All
It's a consensual one.
Well,
Most-
sure. But still, this is something that has to happen to have a little bit of a precedent being set. So,
Okay.
She
Sibella,
doesn't like being touched.
Sibella, power roll for me.
Hard success.
Okay, and now, Greta. Okay, so here is what you are able to glean as soon as you touch Greta.
We have the same power level. That's cool.
As soon as you guys touch, Sibella sees flashes of very similar scenes to whenever you shook the hand of Joseph Dietrich. You see the occupation and the unification under the Nazi banner of Germany. Everything from piles of books being burned to actual rallies being attended, and you realize that a lot of these are from the view or from the perspective of Greta. However, you also see a cafe. You see Jack talking, sliding things across from your perspective that would be going to your hands. You see her talking onto a radio, which you gleaned to be recently, and you hear the voice of Quentin Shapiro. You think he calls them the Olympians, something like that.
And then that is so cliche.
Right.
I'm not in agreement.
And then you see a lot of the interaction that she's recently had with Joseph Dietrich, some of the lecherous looks, the touches, as he has attempted to, make physical contact with Greta, and her shying away from these advances. And you a lot of dots are connected there for you. Because of the closeness of the success, you don't get as much as you would, but you get enough to feel comfortable, and that with the psychology roll. She's not
All right.
lying.
Did I see in any of the flashes Dietrich actually touching her? Like, actually?
Nope.
Good girl. Okay.
This is an unusually long handshake.
All it looks like is Sibella, like, kind of grasping your hand and, like, leaning really close into you and, like,
This is very uncomfortable.
Oh, right. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
She's
Yeah.
gonna like reach into her bag, pull out an alcohol wipe, like rip it open, and just kind of like wipe her hand,
I'm very clean.
and
all
then
the
put her
time.
gloves back. As you guys are like covered in mud.
I did get thrown against a tree.
We probably should move.
Right.
soon-
She's fine. She's really fine, everyone.
As soon as
Oh
Sibella
my
says,
gosh. It's almost like Elijah knows what he's talking about.
as soon as
What a
Sibella,
surprise.
as soon as Sibella says she's fine, Cait slowly clicks back the hammer on the 45 and holsters it and says, "All right, let's go then."
Great.
Take gloves on, she's like,
Cait wasn't happy, Mr. Sawyer.
last
And
one's game.
apparently I'm the rude one.
You guys can do absolutely anything that you would like to do. I will remind you of the maps that you have received. I will remind you that there is a radio that was in Dr. Yerseni's pack, as was several sticks of dynamite. And I'll also remind Greta that you are aware that there was a pod crash that you and you alone know the location of.
That was what she was going to first tell them, actually, as soon as they were a little bit away from the camp.
Okay.
Yeah, I
but
think-
first she's going to kind of like, I'm momentum, and she's going to kind of look at the corpse, pull out a notepad that like she just took out, and then she's going to like write a few things down, kind of poke it with her pen, then write something else down. And I'm good now. I have to improve the serum.
Looked like it worked pretty well to me, but I don't know much about science.
It either worked really well or it went terribly wrong.
A little bit of both, perhaps.
All right, where can we go? Dwight, do you have any ideas about where a good place to hide would be? Obviously, it is not here.
Well, I do know. I came here in. She says we should walk this way, and she's gonna kind of gesture like around the camp towards the direction of the pod, but, like, you know, further away. You know, so that we're not like exactly like, oh hi, we're with an eye and earshot of the camp. She's like, I came here via what they call flight pods. They are filled with liquid, and they are flung from somewhere across the Atlantic Ocean. That is how I arrived here. I do not know the exact origin, but the pod in front of me was tampered by Herr Dietrich and crashed outside of the camp. I feel like there could potentially be information there that we do not have already.
Did you say a flat pod?
Yeah, it is what they called it.
So you flew that thing here?
I did not. That is why I said that is what they called it. I think the name needs improvement.
Yeah, I'd say so. That's not a flat pod, honey. That's a ride pod. But nevertheless, it sounds like it might be something we could check out.
Yeah. I do not know who this individual was, but if Dietrich wanted him dead, then perhaps we should be interested in him.
Super paranoid and super untrusting Elijah Sawyer is like, go ahead, lead the way, and is following without any issues, just implicitly trusting her.
Okay. Greta will lead the way through the jungle to where she knows the flight pod is.
I'll take up the rear, make sure nothing comes behind us.
And I'll help Cait.
And Cait's got her weapon drawn, and we'll keep it drawn and be on alert as we continue to move.
And Elijah is reloading all the shotguns he's picked up from the dead soldiers and examining all the equipment and making sure everything's working.
That's a grease gun.
And that, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, also, when we get there, I will administer first aid to those who need it if you so desire.
My
Hard
first
eyes.
aid was just fine, thank you very much.
Hard eyes. My eyes are hearts. They're literal hearts. As we're walking, as I'm helping Cait, I try to stay pretty close to Greta and just ask, what did you think of Jack when y'all were at that cafe together? What were your impressions of him?
That he was a boisterous American.
Yeah, that is pretty darn accurate.
Wait. How did you know that? Oh, never mind.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it looked like a very nice cafe. I hope he paid for your drink.
She's gonna kind of look at Greta quizzically, and she'll be like, it seems you have more intel on me than I originally thought.
Yes, I'm so good at researching. Just by the way, in case we do run into Mr. Dietrich again and your cover is still good, don't let him touch you, ever. I know you didn't. I know you didn't.
She's gonna kind of look at Sibella, kind of be like, Miss Frau Ives, I do not like people touching me. This is very unsanitary.
I understand. It's just he has a particular set of skills and he really likes to touch people. Kind of like me, but I always ask.
I can attest to that.
course.
Dietrich is rather touchy.
So good.
Okay, so in addition to carrying 6 shotguns and a grease gun and his 2 luggage bags and
Well, people are helping. I'm making the soldier boy
Yeah.
carry some too.
Greta is carrying nothing. She's carrying her equipment.
Dwight's not taking any of that stuff.
so
We need weapons.
Kate is definitely taking a shotgun. Mr. Sawyer,
Exactly.
hand me one of those.
I'll take the grease gun.
okay, just I'll be adding all this stuff into Roll20 for you guys, but so is everybody taking a shotgun? I mean, there are 6 of them. I know Kate's taking one, and the grease gun is being acquired by Dwight.
Well, maybe we should, Elijah. Maybe you should keep the grease gun.
Yeah, whichever you want.
I
think
do not
that's
believe
point.
I caught all of your names, Sophie.
Yes, I am Sibella Ives. Does everyone make their own introductions, or y'all want me to do it? I don't know how much y'all want to say aloud.
Out loud.
Go ahead, Sibella.
All right, this is Mr. Dwight Burke. He is super good with a gun. That's what I know about him. And Mr. Sawyer here, well,
I'm General Chris Anthem, high-ranking 5-star general from the U.S. Military. Thank you very much, Miss Sibella.
Oh boy. Sibella does not roll her eyes because a lady does not do that. And she and this is, of course, I'm sure you know, this is Miss Cait O'Callaghan, famed aviatrix who saved the USS Akron from certain doom. I mean, well, it did crash, but she saved many lives.
Primarily ours.
Yes.
That is good.
That's us. We're so thrilled to meet you.
So, yeah, I was only glad I was able to get a contact with the Herr Shapiro to get your location.
Oh no, you're friends with that chubby gimp.
I would not say friends. I would say he was a contact that I used before destroying the radios here at the Nazi camp, so that they cannot be used again.
Oh my word.
Now that's the kind of information that I want to be privy to. You are useful.
I am a doctor.
Dr. VonKraus, what kind of doctorate is it that you hold?
I am a doctor of medicine, a scientist of bioengineering, and biochemistry. I went to school for a very long time.
Well, I can certainly relate to that, honey.
Yeah, I have worked on many research projects, but my specialty is biology, biochemistry, bioengineering. Also, I do have the ability with electronics and mechanical contraptions as well, in case the medical equipment goes down.
Do you really? That's fascinating. I studied physics and astronomy myself at the California Institute of Technology. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. I'm sure you have. It's quite a prestigious institution.
I'm sure it is.
You're just like this little guardian angel who fell down in what'd you call it, a flat pod? Little guardian
Ride pod, Miss Ives.
Something like that.
Good.
You know, I have a degree in psychology. Psychology, I find to be a bit like biology, wouldn't you say?
That is fascinating. I did take many classes on psychology, so that I could better understand how the brain works in biology.
Precisely. I'm sure we'll have plenty to talk about.
It seems we will, Herr Sawyer Chrysanthemum.
Chris Anthem.
She looks between Sibella and him. She goes, "Of course."
Just the biggest, like, blankest eyes. And smiling. Well, you are all just some fancy people. I'm just so happy to be part of this crew.
We're so not good at meeting new people. Can I just sort of meta say that? We're really, really bad at, like, meeting new people.
This would never go out this way.
She just looks exasperated, but, like, I'm defecting. I have to deal with these people. I'm going to be nice. I'm going to answer the questions.
All right, so as Greta is leading you guys, luckily to the southwest, so you don't have to recross over the trail that you had been following during the ambush. She leads you through the jungle for about 1.5 miles, which is relatively tough trekking through an uncut jungle as you're going through here. But eventually she does lead you to a site, and you kind of smell it before you actually get there. As you get closer, you smell the burning of, like an acrid, maybe an electric type of smell. And when
Smell of electrified flesh.
It's something like that. And as you get closer, you are witness to exactly what she described. You see the remnants, almost like a cracked egg or a technological Humpty Dumpty, as you see this shattered and kind of broken flight pod with glass, sturdy plexiglass and metal kind of broken open. You can see a stain more than anything else of a residual fluid, and you just see a scattering of metal, and you see that there is an entry point through the canopy of the jungle, and it kind of dug a rut into the actual earth of the jungle, and it came to rest. Very similar to the flight pod that brought Kal-El to Earth in a couple years from now. Anyway, 1939, 38, but we'll see. Anywho, so you guys see that? I'd like everybody to roll a spot hidden for me.
Oh boy.
And let me know your scores, please.
Oh. God damn. I rolled a straight up fumble.
Me too.
I succeed. I had a success.
I had a success, actually.
So boys can look and sing.
Yes, you look. We're busy.
Okay, so as Greta and Cait and Sibella seem to be, you guys all failed, right? Greta, Cait, Sibella?
Hard.
Okay. As you guys are kind of just looking around at the area, Dwight, this is what you and Elijah see as you guys kind of scan around. You do notice that among the wreckage there seems to be a figure twisted a bit, but clad in some type of environmental suit with a full face mask on it. But from the position of rest that it's come into and kind of draped outside of the pod, it's obvious that this figure is quite dead, or at least extremely sleepy. The rest of what you see as you're looking around is similar to what I've pointed out. You do, however, see a large section of control panel that seems to have 3 lights on it that seems to be of a big enough to actually be something that you could look at. The other thing that you notice, and which two of you had the higher roll? Was it Dwight or Elijah?
Elijah.
Okay. Elijah, as you're looking around now as General Chris Anthem, your soldier eyes see the following. In the tree, you notice a howler monkey, which is not uncommon here in Bolivia, but what is less common is the fact that this howler monkey seems to be carrying what looks or what appears to be some type of handheld device. And upon closer inspection, it appears to have a barrel of some sorts. And the howler monkey seems to just kind of be manipulating it in one of the branches several rungs up from this crash site.
I'm gonna shoot it. Without hurting this device it's holding. Preferably shoot it.
Okay, so you're gonna, the howler monkey itself is not that big. So to hit it without hitting the device, it's gonna be a hard roll for you.
You want me to take a shot?
I'll point it out to him. Hey, soldier boy, that friend up there in the tree has something. I don't want him to be controlling more Nazis around us, you know. How about you do your thing?
You know, the most common thing I've seen is a monkey with a controller now.
Dwight, you will not have to roll a hard success on this because of your, what is it, steady eye?
Oh.
You son of a bitch!
I killed it!
All right, now here's the fun thing about...
That's good. Let's get that out of the way.
Here's the fun thing about Cthulhu. It is my discretion what I do whenever a 1 is rolled or a 100 is rolled. Now, what I'm going to allow you to do is, if you want, you can spend 10 luck.
Nope.
And, okay. So, as you fire, the device takes the full brunt of your shot and goes flying off into the jungle. The howler monkey, surprised by its toy being gone, for the millisecond that its toy is gone and it's still alive, explodes in a ball of blood and fur and shattered dreams as the primate just ceases to exist in the jungles of Bolivia.
And those two girls with their like fumble spots, you guys probably had no idea we even had our guns out, and suddenly there's just fire. Yeah.
You guys are all Greta,
That didn't
Sibella,
go-
and Cait.
that
you
didn't
guys
go
are all,
according to
"Whoa,"
plan.
As soon as the shot goes off, obviously it's
She
not
like
silenced.
closes her eyes. She's like, "What were you shooting at?"
Monkeys.
That seems like a waste of ammo, Mr. Burke.
I think it was a zombie monkey.
Do I think he's telling the truth?
Now, Mr. Burke, I wanted you to shoot the monkey, not the thing it was holding.
Some monkey was holding something from the pot.
He's dead.
He had some kind of long-barreled control device. I'm sure you can find what remnants and ashes exist of it in those bushes over there. God damn it, Mr. Burke.
Dwight's almost amazed that he missed like that. You know, he takes out his glass, takes a big drink, says, "Yeah, you win some, you lose some," like that.
Could one of
It's
you
been a
find
rough
the
day.
device?
Next
And
time I
she's
need
gonna
something shot, I'll ask the monkey.
She's just gonna walk over to the pod. She'll be like, "Could one of you fetch that?" And just like start examining the control panel
He's dead.
on the device. Oh, she knows the victim.
Not the monkey. Go.
Go find the thing.
How did I get here? Why am I here? I shouldn't even be here.
We should probably all be more quiet now.
Once in a lifetime.
Mr. Sawyer, I take back all those nice things I was saying about you back there on the trail.
Oh,
As she's following Greta toward the crash site.
Who? You mean Chris?
Oh my word.
I
My
bore you people.
stars.
Did we find the device? Well, I wouldn't know that she could fix the device potentially.
She said she could.
Yeah, she said something about
She
it.
said she tinkered with electronics, and
Yeah.
she is currently pulling apart and looking at this control panel in the pod.
Electrical repair check for me,
Okay.
Greta, and anybody that's looking for the device. I need a spot hidden from those people.
Hard success.
Success.
Nice. Okay, so General Xanthemum.
Extreme success.
General's anthem.
Okay, well, instead of General, you thought you knew where it went, and as you were kind of entering into the undergrowth, Dwight beat you to it several feet off to the left, as he must have tracked it as soon as his shot went errant. And Dwight, you see laying before you what looks like a device that may or may not fit over a human wrist. It appears to have like two coiled ends on it, much like a spring-loaded or like a flexible neck of a desk lamp or something like that. They seem to be coming off the end of it, and the front of it creeps forward in a barrel that ends in two snake's heads. And it appears, other than having one hell of a scratch along the side of it, it appears to be fine.
Just as I intended. Even their devices are creepy.
We call it aesthetic.
Electrical repair roll was a success.
Yes.
What you find out about this is you're able to kind of flip the control panel over and follow some of the lead wires back, and you find what looks to be a residual shard of some type of green, almost crystal or glass. It's very small, very jagged, but it appears that this may have been some type of fuel source for the flight pod.
Because they had green flame ignition. Yeah, okay. She'll take the crystal.
Okay. Also, and I don't know how you have this, but roll a chemistry check for me. And then, Cait, what would you like?
A chemistry check. I only have pharmacy. I don't know chemistry. Yeah, that's not a thing unless you specifically go into that.
I think it's a base 5%.
I don't see it. I see charm, climb, credit, Cthulhu.
I tell you what, then, an extreme intelligence is what you would need then. How's that?
Okay. Sure.
You identify it as being the fuel source, but you don't get any more information from that.
Okay. I'll hold on to it and examine it later when I have more equipment.
Sure thing.
So
Cait.
Yeah, Kate's watching this because she's come up next to you and she says, "Wait, let me get a look at that. Can I take a look at that?"
Sure. She'll hold on to it, but she will display it.
Okay. So I want to do that same electrical repair check, Greg, and I want to use my handy talent here to either get a bonus die or reduce the difficulty level on this kind of check.
Okay, well then what I'd like you to do is, why don't you take an intelligence check for me, and instead of an extreme, you are going to get a hard, and you're going to get advantage on this too. So you have 2 shots to get a hard using your handy.
How about just one extreme? I don't even roll the next one.
That'll do, Miss O'Callaghan, that'll do. As you take a look at it, you realize right away, just kind of looking at the same housing that Greta had kind of sifted through, you look at the shard for a second and follow it back to the control panel, and then follow the control panel back down to an area inside the flight pod. And with just a few twists of a kind of bent and shattered latch, you open it up and a brick of this green stuff pops out.
Yeah, so I very cautiously reach into it. And as I do, I'm just talking to myself, oh my God, the specific impulse on this must be incredible. And back up at Greta, this is the fuel source.
Yeah, it's a fuel source. I have determined that.
And look, how fast was this thing going? How long did it take you to get here?
It took but a few hours to cross the Atlantic.
I think we should be very careful with this. I mean, very careful.
Mm-hmm.
Can Elijah be coming over and see the big brick lying on the ground now?
Yeah, if anybody comes over, it's there if they haven't hidden it or anything like that. Cait, I will let you know too, with that extreme roll on your handy ability, just doing the math in your head, even if it was any point on the other side of the Atlantic or somewhere midway through the Atlantic, and it was a couple hours to get to Bolivia, it's upwards of 500 miles an hour.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is very important that we get back to the United States. It might be more important than that artifact.
I agree. We should.
Hey, there's German technology. I know that anywhere.
Is there anything similar that I might have seen with when we were with Einstein and Mueller?
Yep.
Uh-huh.
You're trying to steal my thunder.
Okay. Yeah, so Cait looks for something, a cloth or something that she can sort of wrap it in.
Greta will pull out like a sick bag, because she's a doctor. She's got all sorts of random shit, and she's just going to, with her gloved hand, pick it up.
There's a cold burning fuel source for flight. I've seen that with Dr. Mueller and his little flight backpack suit thing.
And as Cait sees her pull out that bag, well, aren't you the handy one? I think we're going to get along just fine.
I should hope so, Frau O'Callaghan.
Careful, I think she's sensitive about her hand, Cait. She
Okay.
said handy. Sibella is.
And then
You're
after
welcome.
after putting it in the bag and sticking it in her medical bag, she's going to look for, because she had a waterproof, like fluid-proof bag to put her belongings in. She's going to look for that, like in the same storage compartment in the pod or whatever.
That seems to have been opened somewhere with the renting and the tearing of the vehicle. I will allow you guys to search around with a spot hidden. This
Okay.
will take a hard spot hidden roll to find this particular piece of equipment.
Oh.
Close, but not a hard, right?
Mr.
Oh, an
Burke.
extreme. Look, he's coming back, everybody.
He's come
He
back.
got-
He's like, "What's that over there?"
Dwight's like, let me get this straight. This thing was in the air. No clue what's going on. No clue what you people are talking about.
I've been following around Dwight, like trying to get his attention while he's been like looking through the woods, and I've just finally just happened. I've been trying to ask him something.
Hey, this thing looks important.
Oh, Mr. Burke, if you like my airplane, you're gonna love flying on this thing.
Not a chance in hell.
It is quite an interesting experience as you sit in your biosuits and the pod fills with a viscous fluid, and then you are flung through the atmosphere.
Dwight just rolls up a cigarette and
It's
says, "Is this what you're looking for?"
Mr.
Sounds
Burke,
like my senior prom.
everyone is silent for a moment. Mr. Burke, you said you had
I don't even
a
want
map.
to talk about mine.
Goodness gracious, you boys. You said you had a map, and I've been waiting for you to show us this map for a while now.
Yes, Miss Ives, I was going to give it to you, and I hand her the map. But we were we saw someone get liquefied.
Well, it wasn't. I mean, it was fascinating, but
It
should've-
is rapid atrophy.
rapid atrophy.
Yes.
Rapid atrophy.
That one was
Yes,
extremely
Of
effective.
course.
Now, Miss Atrophy, mein Liebling, he knew precisely
She's
where
gonna
we
like
are.
twitch, like.
He knew precisely where we were, as did you. How many other Nazis are coming through the jungle looking for us right now?
Well, hopefully, I put them off the scent, and they will not be coming.
That is the best news I've heard in months.
So I was unable to stop. We shall call him Hairbolt. But I did reach him in time before he unloaded the gun.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, you stopped him.
Sibella is pulling out. She's looking at the map that Mr. Burke gave her, and she's looking at the map that.
Does
think I have-
Greta see this map? She's like, oh,
I'm not subtle.
Real quick, what device did we find on the ground?
yeah. He found the bag.
The bag has been found by Mr. Burke. Is anyone opening it?
Greta would like to.
I give it to Greta.
Okay.
And that device that monkey had too, right?
You're giving that to Greta as well?
I become trusting of Germans.
This is lovely. This is the part of the peace process right here. This is where it all starts, everybody. Okay, Greta, as you are given the bag, it's easy enough to open. You've put
I've
your own
opened one
belongings.
before.
You've done
Yeah.
it before. You open it up and you look inside and you see a German, an SS commander uniform, and you see a sidearm.
Okay.
You see very little else. There appears to be just a pair of boots, just clothing, and the sidearm.
Just closing. What is the rank on the uniform higher than Dietrich's rank?
It's the same.
It's the same. Okay. Eliminating the competition. Got it. All
Give the
right.
side on to Sawyer.
She'll be like, open the bag and be like, you are very close. How work? And she'll pull out the sidearm. She'll just hold it.
I need another handgun. I'll take that if you're not gonna use it.
I do not have any weapons, but I have been
Well,
trained.
then you can hold on to it then, because if you're helping us, you're gonna need some weapons.
You might want to hold on to that,
Mm,
Dr. VonKraus.
if you
They're right.
insist. She'll put it in her other lab coat pocket, the one that doesn't have her hypo biosyringe gun. Bioserum gun.
Sibella is looking at the map with the symbols and obviously seeing the same river shape as the Bolivian forest map. She'll pull out those and kind of lay them side by side. And she'd like some privacy, but it's hard to get it out here in the middle of the jungle with everyone looking around.
You can walk off. I mean, you can walk off by yourself.
Shut up, Greg. Shut up.
Okay.
Do you understand the symbols on this map?
Not yet, but I think I could. I mean, they look vaguely. I've read a few interesting books. Like some look vaguely like symbols of the zodiac. Some look maybe Cyrillic. I thought maybe that's Japanese, but it's too swirly to be Japanese. I mean, the triangle is the alchemical symbol for fire, but of course these seem to line up. That I think the triangle might just be the aid camp and nothing more. The fort, and then the side of the battle, as the dearly departed doctor's map shows us.
It is a map, and the symbols that you are referring to are shorthand, so you might not be able to decipher them unless you have the cipher.
Or access to the cipher somehow. I will think on it.
It is Herr Dietrich shorthand. I was unable to glean it from him before I had to come.
So, has he held this map?
I do not know about this map specifically. I do not know how many copies there were of this map. There were several individuals there who had their own business to deal with. I believe that a Herr Gruber was sent to take care of you all, but I only discovered this after the fact for some time, and then obviously survived, so you were quite capable.
Thank you. I mean, it was a group effort, really.
Sibella, could you like
think on it?
Yeah.
I
can tell you that this is a map of where they have searched for the notes.
Tyrannish?
The Tyrannish, yeah. Yes, the artifact.
Right. So the squiggled out parts are obviously places they have searched.
Places they have already searched and not found anything.
Great.
Yeah.
Now, Miss Greta, I'm sure this is a very busy day for you.
That is
Dr. VonKraus.
And you've been barraged with all kinds of questions.
Yeah.
But, we've been told about an incident here in Bolivia, and by gum, we just don't know what happened. I'm sure you're privy to that kind of information. Why the hell are we here in the first place?
I've only just arrived recently in Bolivia myself, and I have not been given as much information as you would think. However, I do know that the incident in question killed 200 soldiers. There is currently something at the temple that they have uncovered between the Paraguayans and the Bolivians, and they are not keen on fighting it to get through. So they are looking for alternative routes, which they believe to be inside these empty quadrants. We should search and see if we could find it before they can.
Did you say something?
Something. Some creature.
And this creature isn't the Tyrannish. It has nothing to do with that.
They do not think so. They think the clues to the Tyrannish will be in one of these other temples or entrances.
Now, Dr. VonKraus, this is very, very important. Did you see in your time in the camp, or as you landed, did you see any aircraft or any vehicles at all? Do you have any idea how they intend to transport this Tyrannish out of the jungle?
I believe they are intended to transport it out once Herr Alvensleben arrives.
Yeah. But how? How do they intend to transport it out? Do these pods have some sort of return mechanism to them?
They do return, but there are no pods at the camp. Currently, the ones that I was sent in was sent straight back.
Sibella kind of makes her way to the other side of the pod. I mean, I don't know. How big are these things?
They're pretty small. They're enough, like two medium-sized people could fit inside them. They're sort of like smaller versions of those spheres in Jurassic World.
Oh, yeah.
Are we thick in the jungle, or are we in a clearing?
Well, you're in a recently made clearing.
A recently made clearing, but the thick of the jungle.
A fresh clearing.
All right.
Yes,
now,
freshly formed clearing.
Everyone, I would like to do something, but I would like it might be a good idea because I'll be kind of out of it for a few minutes. If if everyone really could just surround me and turn your backs, that would be super. I would really appreciate it.
You all are very strange.
What the hell are you gonna do?
That
with
is a
map?
strange request.
I don't think it's that strange.
The hell are you gonna do with that map?
I'm gonna research it
Don't call
thoroughly.
Miss Ives, what exactly can you do?
I can find things out about things that I spend time with in private.
I don't know if we need to be that thorough.
Cait. Cait walks up to Dwight at first, and she's looking at Elijah at the same time and says, "Gentlemen, turn around. Keep your eyes on what's out there. Give Sibella a second to just look at it a little bit."
Mr. Burke, you and I are going monkey hunting.
Please do not cause any more noise than necessary. While she studies that, if you want to keep watch or whatever, I can tend to any injuries.
Doctor, are they going to be looking for you, Doctor, before we start this?
I do not believe so. I said I was going to be doing some research in the jungle for a while. Some plant specimens that can only be found native in Bolivia for my biogenetic research. There are some very interesting species of tree frog here with venomous skin. If you see any, please let me know.
So Cait positions herself so that so that Sibella is between her and the crash, and is kind of just down on a knee. She's focused forward. I think she's got her sidearm at this point. It's probably got just a touch more range than that shotgun. And she's acting as if she didn't hear that offer of some medical assistance.
Mm-hmm. She's just gonna look at like all the blood on everybody, and she's just going to kind of just like sigh with like the patience that she has, stretching thin, but she's just gonna sigh. She's gonna unroll like a small plastic sheet, like on the floor if there's like a stump or something, and just like kind of pull out some bandages and just things to have ready that she can scoop up real quick and if they need to and leave. But just pulling it out like, look, I'm here, I've got stuff. Yeah, fine.
So oddly enough, Cait, are you looking at Sibella?
No.
Okay.
My back's to her.
Dr. VonKraus, are you looking at Sibella?
I don't think she'd be like studying you, but she would like make a glance because you are very strange.
What? No.
You were like, I need to touch you. I need to touch you. I like touching people. Let me get closer. And you want weird alone time with this map and no one else looking. So she's just gonna be like she'll like pull a couple things out, kind of like look at you.
Yeah.
Shake her head,
Sibella starts to take her clothes off, and you see like a big bruise on her back from where she hit a tree.
Okay.
So
I pull out some medicine for that. Like I just kind of like look at everybody and I'm like, oh, bullet wounds, and I pull out tweezers. What's that?
I love her so much. So basically, Sibella is in her slip with just her gloves now.
Alex, just donated
Oh God, what did she do?
$3 for Sibella. So
Oh
that will be a crit success for you.
my goodness. How wonderfully timed of you, Alex. I am a hoarder, but I might need it right now. Okay. I still write down not 20, even though that's not right. Okay.
I do too. It's fine.
So Sibella, like, she doesn't have her record player, she doesn't have her candles or pillows, she's just got grass and her skin. So she like kneels down with the map in front of her and starts to take off her gloves and just starts really nice and easy and just lets like the tips of her fingers caress it and keys in.
Okay, so are you using your crit success here? Or are you just going to go straight with your normal go get 'em?
Now I couldn't roll it and then decide, could I? No.
I am a kind and benevolent keeper, so yes, I will allow you to do that.
Okay, I'll roll and then decide. So it's psychometry. Okay.
Yep.
Hard success.
That'll do. As soon as you touch it, you see flashes of a completely hairless albino man, and you realize now that this is, whenever you're doing psychometry with an object, you're gifted with the person that was in most recent possession of it or had the strongest aura over it. And you see this bald albino gentleman, completely colorless eyes. You also see flashes of like a bell tower, a peak. If Mr. Burke was seeing these right now, he'd be thinking in his head, that's a good spot. That's a real good spot. That's a great spot. And then you see a flash of what looks, and you're not sure how you know this, but you're always kind of able to pinpoint yourself with this psychometry GPS that you sort of have. And even though I don't think that you've ever been in Spain, you know right away that this is Casa Vieja, and you see through the eyes of this Gruber, and you see these snake dog creatures loping over buildings, and you get a glance through the scope as if your eye is the colorless eye of Gruber, and for a briefest of seconds you see Dwight Burke turn back around, and for a moment the crosshair is exactly over his head, and you see Burke jump between two buildings and disappear just as the shot goes wide, as Gruber misses, potentially ending the life of a friend that you may never have gotten to meet. It goes forward, you see yourselves get ambushed, and then you don't get any more, but you do get the Nazi regalia that's become kind of a custom anytime you touch like Dietrich, you know, that passion, that fervor for the swastika. And Gruber is not a nice person.
Do I get any sense of what any of it means?
Yes, you do. The map in of itself are sectors that have been searched. You are exactly right that the river is documented as and I'll take away the other map so people can see that. That the river going through there and everything that's scratched out in blue are sectors around the battle site. The battle site is in the middle of the wheel, and they have searched all around trying to find what you have gleaned from him as several sister sites to the one that was struck in the battle. And it was Gruber's, before he was sent out, Gruber's primary mission here in Bolivia was to find those sites and to see if it was potential, there was a way to access via these alternate sites instead of the damaged one.
Okay. And last question, anything at all about the symbols right below where the triangle is, about where the aid camp presumably is?
No, it seems to be coordinates, but you're not sure what type of device would use coordinates like these.
Okay, cool.
The other thing that you will know is Gruber, his first mission after striking you all was to go to the site of the battle.
Thank you. That was fun. So by the end of this, like, it started with her just like kind of lightly grazing it, and by the end, if anyone cares to look, Sibella's like on the ground, like, and the map is like, she's been like like kind of like just putting it in as much contact with her flesh as she can. And you hear some sounds, and they sound like they're happy sounds, and that's it.
Greta's just like,
This is, it's totally an American.
And Cait hasn't moved at all. She just continues to sit, to sort of stand watch as all this is happening.
And she set up her medical stuff, and if no one's come over for medical attention, she's gonna, while she waits for them to come because they are injured and they will be treated, she's gonna look at that device that the monkey had. She'd like to examine that.
Okay, yeah, as you pull it out, it looks as if there is a handhold that you would put into your palm. There are two they look like they're adjustable tendrils coming off of the rear of the device, and then almost like a pair of brass knuckles, there are two snake heads that kind of point off like a howitzer coming off the end, almost like Wolverine's claws, but snake heads. As soon as you pull it out, though, what is your proximity to all of the other PCs? Who's closest to you?
Probably Frau O'Callaghan, because she was like, you're injured, and she's like ignoring, so she's like, I'll set up like 15 feet over here, so I'm not imposing on anybody, but I'm available. So probably about there.
Okay, so as you pull it out and you kind of look at the device, hold it, kind of grip it, you will notice that the two kind of snake metal malleable tails seem to move and then very, very deliberately move and are pointing directly at Cait, as if they're reaching for her.
The tails, not the heads, but the tails.
Not the heads. Yeah, the tails coming off the back are kind of.
So the parts that wanna. Okay, that would wrap around the arm if being held. Okay. Can I see if this is like a firearm of sorts, or if it has like a venom injector, or if it's what kind of because it is odd and it's moving by itself seemingly, but potentially discern its purpose without, because she's not opposed to human testing, but it might be frowned upon by these very strange Amerikaner.
I will allow you to do an electrical repair or an occult roll.
I'll do an electrical repair. That's a success.
It appears to be a projectile weapon of some sort.
Okay.
But it's science that you have never seen before.
Interesting. I really want to study this. So she's gonna kind of she's gonna tinker with it for a little bit, wait for somebody to come over, and then maybe if they come over and be like, hey, this is fascinating.
Sibella snaps out of her reverie. Didn't take too long, and is just kind of smiling and humming to herself. As she gets dressed, she looks a little more bright-eyed and pink and like reinvigorated. All done. Lots of fun things.
Yeah, Cait would, as soon as she had some indicator that you were done, would turn around, and she'd start to come over. Well, what did you learn anything?
So much. I'm really excited to tell you all. It was a bit disturbing, but I think it will prove very useful as we go forward. But my back is killing me. And I know that you're probably hurting more than I am. So why don't we take up the good doctor on her offer before the gentlemen come back, and I can tell you all what I know.
Yeah, that sounds like it might be a good idea. Dr. VonKraus.
Yeah.
So I wonder if you could have a look at this. It just happened, and Mr. Sawyer did a really great job of kind of binding me up, I think.
Do you know if this injury had been 3 inches to the left, it would have shattered your clavicle?
Good thing you dodged.
Sort of timeout. I just sort of need timeout. Well, there was something I just knew I needed to sort of jump out of the way at the right moment. And
as you should if there is a sniper after you.
Yes, Mr. Gruber. He's an albino.
Yeah, he is an albino. I saw him emerge from his apartment.
I saw him in Spain shooting at Mr. Burke. He missed.
Is that device kind of sitting out around? Have you left it out somewhere?
She's probably holding it because you guys are
Yeah.
just walked over for some medical attention. She's
Yeah.
kind of like, oh.
The closer that you get to Cait, the more obvious this thing is. Its tails are reaching over towards Cait.
No, I feel like before I treat you, it's because I believe defecting to America means I have to give disclaimers on things now.
Yes.
But this is a projectile weapon of sorts, and it seems to be somewhat sentient or programmed for a certain
like
blood
math.
type. I don't know. I need to study it more. However, it seems to want to be with you. I do not know if it means bad or good.
Can we make an occult roll, Greg?
Yes, sure can.
Okay.
But it is very fascinating. I have not seen signs of this
That is
before.
absolutely fascinating.
But perhaps before we experiment with this, I should treat your other injuries first.
That's probably a good idea. I'm a little lightheaded, so I can't really take a good
You know
look at
what?
it right now.
Yeah.
This is one of those moments where I hate having to role play a character and I don't get to kind of meta the thing. But if I'm role playing Cait, honestly, she just reaches out and takes it.
That's the kind of roleplay I love.
Okay, so does Cait grab it, and does Greta allow her to grab it?
Yeah, Cait reaches out to take it away, to take it into her own hands.
Do it.
She's. Does she want to see human testing more right now, or does she want to try to endear herself to the group more right now by like, maybe this will kill you, we should probably heal you first? She'll kind of like just pull back and be like, how about after some first aid or an injection of sorts, just in case.
Kate, I think
I
that's
have
a
seen
great
people-
idea.
I
Well,
have seen people killed by these types of contraptions before.
I love RP, but I also love mechanics, and this calls for a contested dex roll.
Oh, contested
So-
decks.
Oh, hell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can
Who's
I
fast?
assist? Can I assist either of them?
You want the winner to be faster, or what? I don't understand.
Like, I don't want Kate to touch it while she's hurt, so I don't know if I can impose myself.
Absolutely. This will require her to beat Greta's dex roll by 1 degree. So if Greta gets a hard, she'd need an extreme. Normal would
Okay.
need a hard.
I love
So
you.
it's 2 versus 1.
Okay.
There
Cait's
we go.
dexterity is insane, though.
It is a little insane. Hard success
Oh,
for
I
Cait.
fail.
Okay. Yeah. As soon as you pull it back, you realize it's no longer in your grasp as
Yeah.
Cait has it and is looking at it. Cait, as soon as you grab a
And
hold of
if
this
I see
thing,
her grabbing it, and I'm like, I make sure it's not pointed at me. I'm like, nope.
Cait, as soon as you grab hold of this thing, it immediately slithers and kind of fits itself into your right hand as the tails wrap around in a helix around your forearm. And they squeeze, but not uncomfortably so, more as like they're kind of just setting themselves. And as you hold on to it, the eyes of the snakeheads flare green. And you are gifted with the following sight. It has accepted you as its wielder because you possess a wound on you that came from a creature of the same origin as this weapon.
Thank you, Bat Dragon. I love you. So Cait, as it wraps around her wrist, she begins to kind of turn and look at it.
I turned like the other direction.
Isn't that the most fascinating thing?
It certainly is. Could you hold still, please?
It's certainly on the list anyway. I'd say top 10 easily.
What else can I learn about this just from the skills that I have?
Hold it.
Mechanically, this is how it works. The snake weapon is able to fire 3 shots in 1 round. It is silent, and it does 1d10 per shot.
And I just know all this from my bonding with it.
That's the mechanics, but yeah, you're gifted with it. It explains itself to you as if it's a wrench, it's a screwdriver, it's a, you're just, I got it, I understand. Almost as if you have shared genetic material with some type of otherworldly creature, and it has just accepted you.
There's been a lot of bonding this episode.
So much bonding.
I think now would be a perfect time for me to also mention that the only thing left for you to do here at this particular area that you have not checked, that somebody expressed an interest in earlier, is the body.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will examine that if someone is opening it. Otherwise, I will provide medical attention first, because the corpse isn't going anywhere.
Medical attention, please, and thank you, Dr. VonKraus.
Yeah, that would be lovely. Thank you.
Cait cannot receive any medical attention because she already got a medicine roll that gave her 3.
That's right. That's
But
right.
Sibella can receive a medicine roll if you would like to give it to her.
First aid or medicine, which?
You can medicine will be more effective because of
yeah. No, I've got both.
I'm down 2 hit points.
Oh
Can I
my
get one?
god! I'm the worst doctor ever.
We've all done it.
I'm too unnerved by this unknown weapon that is being whirled around.
Ow,
Like,
ow, I think
I'm
you're bruising
sorry,
me more.
hold on.
So
Can I contest that? Can I medicine?
Can you push it?
Can I?
you wanna-
Yeah. I wanna
Okay.
try-
Here's what happens.
Maybe I shouldn't push it with medicine.
No, you definitely should. You should. I need to see this.
I trust you, Lindy.
If you push it, that would require a hard. Oh my God! Did you just push that to a 99?
No,
Oh, okay.
That was her original roll. Calm down.
Calm down with 99.
Right. No, if you push it, you would have to get a hard success
45
instead of
lower.
45
Okay.
or lower. Yeah. And if you didn't get it, something bad would happen.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
I'm sorry I bruised your ribs.
Hold on, my headphones went off. Oh! I don't know if you guys can hear me, but Grant just donated 3. Bad boy Grant. I still hate Nazis. Besides, what did you put down, Grant? Oh my
Moment.
gosh. Hold
He
on a
hates
second,
Nazis.
guys. I have terrible audio problems. My headphones have stopped working.
Oh no.
Quick, scheme!
Come on.
Everyone scheme right now.
Okay, so what we're gonna do?
I will donate money to myself. I will donate.
Okay,
I
I'm
will
sorry
have all
about
of
that.
the crits.
I am back. What did you donate to, buddy? Besides Snyder needs all the help he can get. So that was a 3 to Snyder? Let me
I
know.
think it was a crit success to Strider.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Strider gets a crit 3. Okay.
Okay.
Crit success to Strider. That's what we're going with. I think that's what he wanted. And thank you for the follow. Sorry, I lost complete like I said, Zoom was having all kinds of problems.
Yay.
Okay, so yeah, crit success. Okay, that's what you got. Here's what we got. Medicine-wise, if you want to push it, it will end up hurting her if you get that wrong.
Okay. But she's going to get a start. She's not going to push it. She doesn't want to. She says she's a great doctor. She doesn't want to prove them wrong by injuring them more. So she's going to be like, this is a worse injury than I thought. We might need to look at this when we have more time.
All right. I mean, that's fine. I mostly work with my mind as opposed to my body. Sometimes
Likewise.
we're
brain.
bonding. Yes, brains and skin. It's nice.
Not skin. Skin just.
Your skin is very soft.
Cait might actually have giggled just a little bit when she said that bit about working with her mind more than her body.
It's a slight chuckle from Cait. Okay, I will let you know that if the body is going to be examined, the only 2 people that can look at it without making a sanity roll are Greta and Dwight. That's
Should we,
your
like, perhaps
only
you
warning
should perform
ever.
the autopsy before we leave.
So is this Greta and Dwight then?
Greta will definitely. She's done autopsies before.
Yeah, Dwight's not worried about it.
Okay, so Greta, you have Dwight to assist you should you need anything. Is everybody else heeding my warning? Are you stepping back or are you watching?
Sibella would watch.
Yeah, Kate's gonna watch too. Damn it.
She's weird.
Elijah?
All right, Greta will. will pack
Elijah's
up-
nowhere near here, man. He's on the other side of the field, like wandering around trying to find mushrooms or something.
Those tree frogs Greta was talking about. Damn, those things sound cool. Red frogs.
Rooms, baby.
Okay, so as you guys Dwight helps you pull the body out and kind of set it up as everybody kind of circles around, with the exception
I'll
of
set out some like autopsy tools to the side and be like, "Are you familiar with these? I need you to hand them to me potentially." And she'll adjust her gloves a bit more.
Okay, and so as you guys are kind of getting
What are
ready-
these things? No.
Why is there a saw?
What is this?
as you guys are setting up and as
This is speculum.
Any spot hiddens I need to roll, Greg?
not unless you want to. I mean, you can-
No, I'm good.
Okay.
If we don't need to, then no one does.
I never said that. I just said that I'm not asking
Why
for
would
one
he
right
tell
now.
All right, well,
Okay.
And she will cut.
I
the
will
skin
roll
off.
one then, since you said that.
You do not see anything. You do, however, see a monkey that's about 50 yards off crying for no particular reason. You're not sure what that means. You feel
Get it,
twinge
Sawyer.
of guilt. Right.
Take it out.
So,
Take it out.
Okay.
Next, Greg.
Okay, so bringing it in, as you kind of lay the body out and kind of reorient it from the twisted position that it fell in, you said
I don't
you're
want to reorient it necessarily. I want to see like how exactly maybe it crashed. I'm gonna cut the suit off of it,
okay.
and
So-
then go from there. I want to see what I'm working with.
You're not going to pull the hood off first?
I mean, if you like, it's a helmet.
Okay, so you cut off the suit and you pull the helmet off, right?
Yep. Mhm.
Okay, so as you cut off the suit and you pull the helmet off, you look down into the brilliant blue, almost white eyes of Joseph Dietrich. And that is where we will end this episode of Pulp Cthulhu Project Athena. Ladies and gentlemen, you've survived another day in 1933. We have a lot more to get to, but this was a good one because we were able to talk to everyone and see exactly what they were doing and how everyone behaves and does certain things and gets naked with maps and all kinds of stuff. So,
I was wearing a slip.
right. Well, hey,
Mostly naked.
Mostly naked. I was only mostly naked.
yeah, I all I can hear is Newt from Aliens, mostly. Yeah. Okay. All right. So awesome. I know that Strider's got to take off. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna jump to Strider. And Strider, how is Elijah doing? Did he find any mushrooms? And congratulations on surviving again in 1933.
Elijah's actually trying to formulate a plan to get away from these people. How he can just get out of this whole thing. The government, the Nazis, just any of it. Yeah, I had fun, man. That's good. I hope Rurik can bond with some objects tomorrow in the Tomb of Annihilation.
Oh,
That Greg is also DMing.
I can guarantee that he's going to bond with a few of them. I'm not sure how well that's going to go for him, but
Oh, that sounds fun.
right.
I'm also gonna DM a session or two on Thursday over on Counter Roleplay, or ERP for short. Doing my first thing I wrote for Encounter Roleplay, DMing the Telling book. Will named it. It's gonna be fun. Check it out. I'll be here next week.
Awesome, brother. Cannot wait for that. And that's Thursday, you say?
Oh yeah.
Awesome, brother. All right, we'll take off, man, and we will see you here next week. And if you wouldn't mind, don't close out your camera because I don't want to scramble and try to redo them.
What about turning it off? Does that do anything?
Yes, it screws it all up. Go back. Okay, you guys are just switched. Just throw something over it.
We
man.
like your living room.
Right. Yeah, no, just throw something over it and you'll be good to go. Okay, Let's go over to where we usually start. Allison, Cait survived. Can you believe it? 1933. Talk about it. Where can we find it?
That was such a sweet sort of just a getting to know you episode. Greg, didn't you enjoy that? Don't you think we could use a few more of those? It was lovely, I thought.
It was something. And we'll make sure that everyone gets killed here pretty soon. But
that I have no doubt. Well, you'll have to do that through the care of my personal physician, Dr. Gretta VonKraus, and in opposition to my new snake weapon, which I'm super excited to get to try out. Thanks so much, everybody, to all of y'all who were filling in. I am totally losing. Like, I don't normally speak with a Southern accent, especially a really bad one, but I just can't. I can't keep it sorted anymore. You can catch me on God's Fall as Ariska Tane, the new cast member there. New episode coming out soon. I think you got a new Wander Quest coming out very, very soon. Astrid Dane is about to get herself into a little bit of trouble, so you might want to check that out. And in between all of that, on Twitter at Allison Robinson with 2 L's and a Y. Love y'all. Thank you. Thank you, Greg. Thanks, cast. You're amazing.
Yes, and please follow everybody. Apparently my codes are not working for my outros to give you guys all of the Twitter handles and all that. I will make sure and tweet all handles after this on my own account so you guys can make sure you follow these wonderful people because they are wonderful, and I want you to follow them because it'll make your day a little bit brighter. It makes mine. Lauren, Sibella, she's alive and partially naked with a map.
So
Talk about
salty. That's my job. Yes, I had so much fun, and I'm so happy that Lindy's here and everything is gonna be okay now. Totally. Yep, I'm on Twitter. That's Salty Ginger. Tomorrow, let's see. Tomorrow we have Encounter Roleplay. We have Beginner's Play. Age of the Necromancer. It's their second to last episode. I am a fighter with a mean crossbow, and I got 4 nat 20s to use, and I know just who I want to use them on, so you should come check it out tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern.
Excelente. Please check that out. It is the penultimate episode, correct? So we've got,
yes.
You got 2 more left? Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. Great stuff. Let's talk to our native sniper and newly minted physician's assistant, Dwight. Dwight, he survived 1933, and he's getting an education in autopsy.
Yep, it was a fun episode. Thank you, Greg. Thanks to all the cast. Lindy, welcome to our group. You did a great job. It was definitely an interesting episode to everybody, and your new weapon, Cait. So I really appreciate having me on here. I have nothing going on this week because I work at night, so I definitely want to wish everybody well, and I will see you all next week. Deuces.
Great. And from our sniper to our healer, the enigmatic Dr. Gretta VonKraus. Lindy, Gretta, you survived. Welcome.
It is good to be here. But yeah, today's episode was insane. I loved it. I didn't get shot by the Americans, so that's good. That is always a plus to not be shot on sight.
Yeah.
I feel like the liquefaction of his muscles, or the accelerated atrophy of his muscles, really gave a good impression. It maybe bought me some talk time. But yeah, you can find me online at LaughLoveLindy, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram. I am streaming Dungeons & Dragons, currently running Out of the Abyss on Tuesday evening, and on Wednesday, during the afternoon, you can find me with this guy, Greg, as we play, Vashka and Dr. Thaddeus Lewis in Call of Cthulhu, counter roleplay. Then Wednesday night I play video games, and I do some cosplay streams sometimes when I have the time, so yeah.
Yep, absolutely. Great stuff. Yes, if you haven't checked out Lindy on Call of Cthulhu as Vashka, what is she, 5'10"?
Vashka
Russian?
is 5'10" and very Russian who likes explosives.
She is the Russian bombshell that everybody has coined because she's right. I sort of like it and hate it, but I like it. I love Vashka. So. Yeah, that is great. And also, me, Grimjack21502 on Twitch and Twitter. Be here beat Call of Cthulhu 1 to 4. Great stuff. I'm also on D&D's channel Saturdays from 6 to 9 for Learn by Play with Encounter Roleplay, which is super fun. This, though, is having these people in chat and having the Ministry of the Occult in their own separate chat plot to kill the people that you see in front of you. And being privy to both worlds is such a blessing because everybody involved, fantastic people. I wouldn't surround myself with anything otherwise. But anyway, check us back here, and we will meet again next week for what will be our mid-season finale, because then we'll take a little break for the holidays. But check us out. We should have some other things popping up, maybe some bonus episodes, some special recordings, some things to learn a little bit more about these characters that we are all very passionate about and we all want to share with everybody else. But until then, take care of 2017. We'll take care of 1933. See you later, guys.